Nate Burns, defensive end, Williamston Tigers, Martin County, state championship 1995. Go Tigers.
What year did y'all win the state championship? And just a little quick briefing on that season though, real quick.
Yeah, we won it in '95. We had a lot of expectations that year, but not just only us. We had our county rivalries, Roanoke, and they had a good team too. So everybody knew. You can ask anybody about it. Both teams gonna be pretty good that year.
What was it like playing for the legendary coach Harold Robinson?
You can ask anybody, man. When you hit middle school and you have a little success over there, you already know what's coming up next for Williamston High School. It's gonna be Coach Harold Robinson. He was there for a while now. He done seen it all.
How was he like with the kids though? Like what was the relationship with the kids back then?
Harold was fun, man. He'd get right there in that huddle, those big guys all over us and say, "Who that? Who that thing gonna beat that Tiger?" And just turn. This is red as a Roanoke, a Redskin jersey, man. Harold Wood, but he was a down to earth coach. But when it came to thing, he like discipline. He like discipline when it comes to doing your job and accountability. Discipline and accountability. Because if you didn't do things right, you won't just let yourself down and let your team down. And that year, 11th and 12th grade year, we had a lot of leaders. 11th, 12th grade year, probably some of the best leadership I ever seen in Williamston history. You already know about Pernell Griffin, and you got Rodney Bland, you got Derrick Jackson, you got Walter Jones. A lot of people names that might not be familiar with a couple of them. You got Mickey Rease. That year right there, what people don't get a lot of credit for, we won a lot of them games on special teams. Burt White was at Clayton Peel, Marcus Swain was out there too on special team. We won a lot of games on special teams, so big up for that. All the way down the coaching line. That's something part of that Harold coaching tree too. Special team, they put a lot into that, and it showed up always at the right time.
That's what's up. All right, so I know y'all were dominant. I think that was one of the first championships they won since when they changed the name, I guess, or when
that was our first one.
One of the
since they changed the name from E.J. Hayes, legendary school. Yeah.
I got you. Yeah. So what was the atmosphere like in Williamston though? Just that whole year though. I mean, like, was y'all expected to win or was it just happen?
We were expected to be a player in the game, like I said earlier. Robinson had a great team. You already know Edgecombe has been dominating the conference for some years. This was way before Tarboro doing what they doing. North Edgecombe was the head honcho of the conferences around here. So you had to get through them to get to the state championship. They had already won one and played for a couple of them. So everybody, it was a couple good teams, but we was in the mix. We was in the mix as one of the best. And you just had to show up every Friday and just put your showcase on.
I got you. Who was some of the best teams? I'm gonna jump right into it. Like for that season, I know y'all. I think y'all lost a few games.
Yeah. The number one team to start off that season, '95, the Plymouth Vikings, three-headed monster, dominated. They was 2A, and we played them tight. That's one of the games we lost for the season. But we played them tight. We had a chance to win at the end. Yep, had a chance to end it again. Win at the end. Came up a little bit short, but they went all the way. They went deep in the playoffs, but they ended up coming a little bit short. But regular season, they dominated. Had three running backs back there. You never know who had the ball. Call it the double dive. You never know. You had to be disciplined, and they dominated. They dominated one of the best high school team in the state that season.
What was most memorable? Well, one of the most memorable things of that year for you.
For the whole
I mean,
year?
like, not just the championship, but something you remember during the season.
For the season. Been so many, man. Just one individual was McGill, that coach ended up coaching Williamston. He played us at '95, and I'm gonna make this fast. And we scrimmaged them. They was 3A then. We scrimmaged them, and we pretty much held our ground that year. And I ended up starting as a sophomore. And I was so grateful to be around that group of leaders and guys, man, to see that camaraderie, because we had one goal that year. And you believe it or not, Chico was in a starting, but Darrell O'Neal was our starting quarterback. And how ironic life is, Darrell O'Neal went from starting quarterback to winning a defensive player of the state championship game. And that's kind of how the season was, man. We all just came together. We played our part. But me starting after that Washington scrimmage, and they had that trust in me, oh man, I was all in.
Yeah, that's tough. Now we get into the fun stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody want to know. I mean, I know they want to hear their names, but I mean, everybody can't be called at this moment though, because you only can keep it real. You know what I'm saying? You only can keep it real, and I know you're one of the best to ever do it. So, I mean, who's the toughest players you ever played against?
Oh man, right out the gate, Mickey Rollins from Robinsonville. And anybody say it different, hey, we know you're lying. Mickey Rollins was a beast, man. Strong as an ox, athletic, tight end. He was tough. And as a kid, people probably won't never remember from Paquimins, Toskinski Woods, who were running back. They were in the wishbone with two offensive linemen. They said with two fullbacks. Man, we beat them. We beat them pretty good, but it was a game you had to stay. This my back was hurting so bad. I keep taking on two fullbacks, and or they really offensive linemen, but they were two fullbacks in the backfield, and Purnell and Toskinski Woods were ranked real high in around here in 1A in football as being recruited, and Purnell did a picture book tackle on the whole night. He was a big boy. When we take on the two blockers, Purnell filled the gap. Boom, perfect. On all night, we beat them like 43-3, and they were ranked big boy stuff down there where the bell ring at. Bing, bing, bing. So Toskinski Woods, Purnell Griffin, he won the tough. Number one going out the gate with is Mickey Rollins. He probably one of the toughest ever, and as Cedric Razor in there, he ain't coming down any kind of weight. One of the hardest guys I ever tackled, the hardest guy I ever tackled.
Yeah, that's crazy. Because, I mean, I ain't do the interview with Bocce yet, but when I asked him who the toughest he played against, he said Mickey Rollins.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
yeah. He was anybody who played that year or any time with him knew he was one of the strongest, toughest guys that you're gonna play that year. You better pack your lunch.
Who was the toughest, just to get some information, just to maybe go and get some information on the state championship game, who was the toughest person you played against in that state championship game, if you can remember any?
I remember Brandon Lloyd. He was Smoky Mountain Conference Offensive Lineman of the Year. And he was lined up over me, and the coaches all week. You know I was just a sophomore. I got these guys seniors, super juniors about to step up the next year. You guys wanted to ring. They trusted in me that I could get to that ball and I could make tackles. Yeah, Smoky Mountain Offensive Lineman of the Year, Brandon Lloyd. And like I said, any of the, if anybody want to check facts, you pull up any of the books from state championship, everybody probably kept theirs. It's in there with everybody's information. He was over me, and it's the biggest offensive line I ever seen. All those guys were over 300 pounds or close to it. Yep, Swain County. Some of the biggest guys I ever seen. Some of the toughest guys I ever seen too, and they came with a plan, but we're just a little bit more athletic than them.
I got you. And I know you don't want to go far away from that question, but I do want. I mean, we're gonna come back to this later, but I mean, just being a sophomore, like what were some of the stats you put up in that state championship game?
I led the team in tackles. I had 10 tackles. Yeah, 7 of them tackles were solos. Yeah, I led the team in tackles. Yeah, 10 tackles, 7 solo, 3 assisted. Yeah, sophomore. I had some people talk to me in the locker room. And another thing about the state championship game, don't they never let you forget it. All the pizza and soda you want. I was a little young kid from Williamston. It was boxes and boxes of pizza and the soda. And these people want to ask me questions about that. That's all I was really thinking about. I was a 15, 16-year-old kid happy I ain't let these seniors down, super seniors and our juniors. And I really like a big kid thinking about that pizza and soda. Yes, sir.
That's crazy. All right, so we ain't gonna go too like. Where you grow up at though? Like, what was it like growing up? I mean, not necessarily with Purnell and them, but just when we talk about you were a sophomore, one of the only sophomores, and you led the team in tackles.
Yeah.
All right, but what was it like growing up though? Like,
and Winston, right? Yeah, those guys were a little older than me, and probably had a little bit more bond of them guys together because they was in the same grade. Most of my friends were in my grade. You know, some of them played sports or whatever. But growing up in Williamston, not to get off the subject of football, it was a winning tradition from the 95 basketball team, 94, even the girls in boys, Tracy Bond. Those girls were winning in sports around that 95. Went to a couple titles, you know what I'm saying? And the Williamston boys, you already know Daniel Emery, Curtis Schofield, Jarvis Schofield. Just, we had a winning tradition. So when you come in and thinking, you got to win. I mean, your girls and your boys both going to the state. You know, after we won 95, we with 2000 win with the Brian Hudgens, the Emerson quarterback. We went back a couple more times. It was a dynasty. and Robinsonville right there with us. They were going to play state championships, won a couple of them too in basketball. So Martin County was jumping. And every little kid came up to look up to put on either that green or gold or that maroon or burgundy, whatever color you want to call it down there. And it was a big thing to put them jerseys on.
So yeah, you said I heard you say Cedric Razor. You were talking about Cedric Razor. Just a few more words. Like, did that prepare y'all? I mean, I know you said y'all lost to him in the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
Beat him at the last game before the state championship.
Yeah, no, we beat him for the last game before we went to the second round.
Second round.
Third round.
Okay.
Because we played Lakewood first round.
Okay.
And then next it was no, matter of fact, we played we played them third round. You're right. Before we played them third round. We played Midway fourth round. First round we played Lakewood. Second round we played North Edgecombe. We had to beat those Giants too.
Okay.
Yeah, we had to beat Giants. And then the most people I ever seen in a stadium is not professional or big schools. Robinsonville played Williamston to go to that fourth round. It was an atmosphere that I wish somebody had took a picture and they should put it in the school. You know how you get a picture of how the building look on top. They could took a house. So on top of that valley, they was looking down because we already knew whoever won that game was going to win the state championship. We knew that everybody. I had talked to Cedric. He said he slept on the field that night in Robinsonville after we beat him. And it's facts. You ask him, he gonna be like, he ain't lying. Went back on the field, slept, laid down.
In the Tiger Stadium? Oh, at Roanoke?
At Roanoke. It was the senior year. It was over with.
It's crazy.
Yep, his senior year. True story.
That's crazy.
Yep.
So,
like I said, you can ask him.
Yeah, I'm gonna get. You know he gonna want to. You know he gonna want to be next. So
yeah, but he was one of the best, man. One of the greatest, and we went against 2,000-yard rushing backs. Shane Rivera from one of these schools. Man, Purnell and TJ and Lamont on the defense took over the whole game. Knocked the fight right on, went straight to the state championship. And all we knew we had to do was stay disciplined up there. They were bigger than us, but we were faster than them. So, Cedric Razor, if we didn't get the ring that year, if they had beat us, they would have had it. That's how tough they was.
That's crazy. That's exactly what I wanted to. I was going to ask you the question. You went right into it. Yeah. So, all right. So, since I got that out the way, let's see. Let's go with the fastest player on the team for the '95 state championship.
I want to say Marcus Swain, man. Marcus Swain. He played cornerback, wide receiver, special teams, big part of the team too. Get his big play. You ain't gonna burn him. You might out jump him, but you ain't gonna burn him. That's how fast. Well, he was big in track too. He did his thing out there. Him and Derrick Jackson, track boys. 100 mile an hour. Mickey Rease too. And just elaborate. One of the toughest guys ever. He need to be on that list too. He came from out of Dallas, Texas, somewhere in Texas. He came here, solid as a rock, man. He was one of the toughest guys too, man.
So who the top 3 running backs you got though? And I mean, I guess ever or Martin County.
Martin County.
Martin County.
I'm just gonna really go with what I seen, who I seen. I know we had so many legends way back who didn't quite get a chance to win that championship ring or play for it, but I know they set the foundation. Plenty of athletes. Shel Slade, one of Donnell Cooper. You know what I'm saying? Eric Northern. Those were some of the younger running backs. So I was just kind of looking at football, not knowing what it's all about, but just seeing that crowd. But going by what I seen, and I know a lot of people gonna have their own opinion about it, but I'm gonna give you my opinion, my facts on it. Number 1, going with Cedric Razor, and I'm gonna tell everybody, explain to them the reason why I picked them in this order. Number 2, DeBron Hudgens, and number 3, Rodney Bland. So I'm just gonna repeat it right quick. Going number 1, Cedric Razor out of Rossville. Going number 2 with DeBron Hudgens out of Williamston. Going number 3 with Rodney Bland out of Williamston. Number 1, why I went with Cedric Razor, the hardest running back I ever had to tackle. He just kept getting up and doing it again. Another thing, he gave us a single-hand loss the first game of the season. He just put the team on his back, and he won't just running the ball just before they even do it now, really. They do it everywhere now. College football with receiving out the backfield was key. He did it to us a couple of times. We was up 17-0, and he ended up, I know he got a 1 touchdown too, but kept running that play out the backfield with Ryan Butler. And he was tough too. He was really academically smart too, but a good, solid quarterback. But Cedric Razor killed that. He was tough. And then the competition he played against, man, you got Plymouth, you got North Edgecombe, you got them Northampton West, Northampton East. You had the competition was so much higher, I feel like. Then number 2, he took them boys undefeated. Hey, when you got a goose egg in the backup, you're always gonna be in that top 2 somewhere. But Brian Hudgens, that team was undefeated. They had their ups and downs. Had time without DeBron, and they stuck together as a team. So I respect them to be that young. They was young too. So that's young. So I got DeBron number 2, and number 3, Rodney Bland. If he didn't have sickle cell, he'd been in the NFL. He'd be number 1 on this whole list. But he couldn't play every down. Couldn't play every down. He used to cramp up, couldn't play every down. Let me tell you something. Rodney Bland that had sickle cell, if he could play every down, he'd been in the NFL. Couldn't stop him. I got Cedric Razor because Cedric Razor played every down and received out of back. That's the only reason I got him ahead of Rodney Bland, but he couldn't stay on the field every play. Couldn't nobody stop him. He'd been in the NFL, breaking records, man. That's all I got to say about that. Rodney Bland, check out some of his highlights.
So, of course, y'all had a player that ended up going to East Carolina, almost to the NFL, whatever. Like, what was it like playing with Pernell Griffin? And you could just elaborate on it. Say his name, mention his name, and then go elaborate on
it. Big Perk. Let me tell you something about him. When you get in that work room, that weight room, he ain't playing around. He wants you to work. I was a sophomore. He was a junior. He had seniors ahead of him, like I said, Derrick Jackson, Tony Mobley, Lamont Manning. Oh, man. DJ Reddick. Oh, man, don't let me understate him as a leader in that locker room. DJ Reddick. Like I said, Walter Jones. We had so many, man. So many guys that contributed to Pernell being great. But the key was he was a leader. You can't buy it. You can't make it. You can't find it. You just got to be one. He was a leader. And to make a long story short, he was a perfect linebacker, tackle, coverage. You could put him outside on the end. And he was also athlete. He played tight end too. 82 dunk, he got you. Across the middle, he got you. 82 dunk. He caught one of them in the state championship game, right. But ultimately lead him on both sides of the field. So he was an athlete. He was a perfect linebacker. I seen him one game, did a perfect angle. Right now, you probably see him on NFL to-do list, how to do. Came across the field, form tackle against North Edgecombe. One of the prettiest tackles I ever seen, man.
That's dope.
Pernell Griffin, leader.
That's what's up. All right, so Pernell Griffin, of course, you know, I was 5 years old when this was going on, so I ain't speaking for myself, but I did see the state championship game. So, I mean, just being a sophomore though, and being able to not even talking about the state championship game yet, but just be able to make a Williamston Tigers football team and being able to, I mean, play against the guys like Pernell, and of course we ain't talked about Chico yet, but what type of mentality you have? I mean, how did that happen? A sophomore playing on a varsity like that.
It's turning from, you take it from being nervous, and then when you see how these guys count on each other, you take it from being nervous to accountability, and then when you take it from accountability, you take it to performance. Every week, close game, blowout, we perform. It could be Lamont Manning. We had this play we used to run. It was like a screen perform. Every time we ran, I know it was going to be a big play. All right, we had 87 quarterback keeper. If we ever got in trouble, I know Chico would take that thing and tuck it. And what people don't give Chico enough credit for, the way he ran that waggle, let me tell you something. I don't care who we played. If that waggle with that fake was going on and maybe Roanoke was getting off, our offense going to give us 21 points. That's all we needed with that defense. For the whole season, we averaged 14 points a game giving it up. That defense. Black Rock in the middle. Eric Jones on the outside. Ricky Mease at safety. And also Lamont Manning outside. We call him Dion back then. Lamont Manning, lock it down. And not only he's a scholar and went to Duke, DJ Reddick back there, one of the fastest players on the team too. And he played a little baseball too. But man, it was an honor. It was an honor, man.
What's up?
Honor.
Yeah, I seen you doing your thing. Sophomore, back with the 1995 state champion Nate Burns, one and only. Man, so we just gonna get back on it. We're gonna start with the practices though. Like, how were the practices? Was it a tough practice? Was it laid back? Was it chill? I mean, like, can you just talk about how the practice was?
They were competitive, especially at the beginning of the season, because one thing about football, you take too many plays out, somebody else is gonna be starting. Especially in high school, because everybody an athlete. You know what I mean? Competing. Somebody always like in your footsteps. So we always compete, competitive. But as we got to winning, the practice got tougher because you want to keep everybody healthy. You know what I mean? But you want to keep them physical. And our defense, even offensive line, Big George Williams, I ain't gonna forget about him. Harold used to stay on his ass. But that were her old boy right there, Big George Washington. Franklin, what's up, baby? Yeah, he loved him, man. He loved him, man. He loved him. And practice they got tougher. You had to stay a little bit more focused as the season going on because we were winning, we were successful. You know, Robinsonville over there winning. You got what people don't understand, yeah, we had Robinsonville over Edgecombe, but on the other side of that other side of the map, Northampton West and Northampton East. And Northampton East that year, oh my God. You better practice. And one thing about us practicing, and it's kind of hard to believe that I'm saying, every week we were kind of like I want y'all to understand what I'm saying, we were kind of like an NFL team. We changed our defense up every week to whoever we were playing. That's how much talent we had. We had so much talent every week. God rest his soul, Herbie Rogers. God bless his soul, one of the best coaches I've ever been. He told me, he said, you can't stop somebody until you know what they're doing to you. And I thought about it. And his other slogan was, anything can happen on fourth down and at the goal line. So God bless his soul. He's no longer with us, but one of the best defense or offense coordinators, they all work together that we ever had for Williamston High School. I love you, man.
That's what's up, man. So just a few more words, though, if you can, on Herbie Rogers before we go on. I mean, anything that people, a lot of people, I know when I played, he was a little older, so, yeah. What was he like?
Herbie didn't kiss nobody's ass. Herbie was this is what I want you to do, get it done. No excuses. That's Herbie Rogers. He says no excuses. There was no excuse. I seen time we was on the goal line. He had just said it. So anything happened on the goal line, 4th and 1, they run the ball, we knock it out. Tony Mobley pick it up right on the goal line. And you got to believe in them after he tell you they're on the goal line 4th and 1, and our defense is supposed to be so great. We 4th and 1 on the goal line, they about to score, and we get a turnover, and that was his slogan. So you had to roll with him, and he was one of the best coaches. And I said we was about discipline, but they did it in a way not to make you feel like belittled. They did it in a way that is, you know, you can do this. So it's a lot of ways different coaches do it, but we love you, Herbert, man. You left your presence over here from volleyball to whatever, man. You put your mind to.
That's what's up. And just to finish that off, which was better though in practices? Who was better, offense or defense?
Hey, you already know. Hey, I'm just like a NFL college player, and whatever side of the ball you played on, that's what side you would say. Hey, that 95 defense, man. Let me tell you something. That year we could have beat 1A, 2A, 3A, and I ain't gonna say 4. I'm gonna say 3.5.
Yeah.
We'll be 3.5A.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
That defense was tough. We ran the show.
That's what's up. Most heart on the team. 95.
Burt White.
Hold on. Say it again.
Burt White. Him and Daryl O'Neal were real close. Short guy. You ain't gonna beat him down. You ain't gonna beat him down the field on special teams. One of the toughest guys, even locker room. Can't intimidate him. He was a tough little white guy, man. You know, the guys know it too. Burt White, hell on special teams. I ain't forget you, baby.
Most athletic on the team. Besides yourself.
Yeah. Nah. I'm gonna give you Michael Lee. Probably Michael Lee. He can play basketball, baseball. Oh, no.
Who you got?
DJ Reddick. That's who it is. That's the guy right there. There you go. Hey, Chico, you were close. But I forgot about that baseball. DJ Reddick was a little bit. That's a DJ Reddick. Yeah, I give him that. That's DJ Reddick.
So let me see. Talk about Chico then. We need to talk about Chico. I know
athlete.
From what I hear. I mean, like I said, I looked at the daggone tape. I seen the stuff you doing. I don't know if they was running away from Purnell or whatnot. I seen you every play you was getting a tackle.
Yeah.
And I seen videos of Chico too. So, I mean, you just talk about Chico.
Chico were purity athlete, and what made the season with Chico is when him and Coach Pascal, the one that just retired. One love Coach Pascal, one of the greatest offensive minds on this side of Eastern North Carolina and anywhere else. But with him and Chico locked in together and found how they wanted to run their offense, all we had to do was run plays. See, and I'm not talking about putting up 50, 40 points. Even if we didn't score, those guys moved the ball down the field. And then we had Daryl O'Neal, was the top-ranked kicker on this side of Eastern North Carolina. Yeah, top-ranked kicker. We get 3. All right, let's go, fella. We need touchdowns. We had so much. We're going to move the ball, and then they give us 25, 24 points. Chico and them, but they kept moving the ball, so we kept the other team off the field. You know what I mean? But anytime we got out there, they knew we were going to shut them right down and keep it going. But Chico kept that offense steady, and then when we needed a big play, just like that Robinsonville game that we won, Chico, I don't know, with 87 quarterback keeper, I don't know if you're supposed to hand it off. I don't know if I don't know if Cedric was in there then. He over pursued. A whole linebackers over pursued, and Chico made one cut back. And this how real. And Chico made one cut back, made a touchdown, and Chico had just fumbled the ball. He said, "Y'all get that ball back for me." Chico said, "Y'all get that ball back for me. Y'all get that ball back for me." It's like a movie. You know what I'm saying? I guess that's why they made move championship. Record everything before you go to a championship. It was like a movie. Chico's like, "Y'all get that ball back for me." Got the ball back for Chico. Recovered the fumble. Chico took off and ran us right into the state championship. So he was kind of like, Chico matured over the year, and him and Coach Pascal like grew together, and Pascal could tell him this, Chico could read it, and then he could facilitate it to the boys, and There was offensive like, we got this now. Y'all defense do what y'all got to do. Chico really one kept that stirring pot. Because you always know he can make a big play, and this what most underrated thing about him. Chico could throw that thing too. He had that baseball background. So if we needed a big play, we know we can get the ball down the field, and we had the best athletes. If not in Martin County, around probably some of the best athletes in Martin County go up there and catch that thing. But Chico was a real dual threat before it was a big thing.
So yeah, just talk about that game though. Like I know you don't want to go all day about it, but I know you got a lot of good memories because that's the game that you knew y'all had to win to get the state championship. So
yeah, that was a back and forth game, and they actually had the lead late in the fourth. Yeah, they had the lead late in the fourth, and everybody was emotionally drained after that game because you got all these people from one county, and only one person can win. And if you had felt the atmosphere in that, man, it was like you can't make a mistake. And Ryan Butler, he don't get enough credit neither. Chico was way more athletic than him, and Chico was way more athletic than him, but he had a calmness to him. Make the right play, not turn the ball over, or make the right decision. Ryan Butler. See, people don't talk about him much, Ryan Butler. And he was a scholar. He won all types of awards for his mind, so he wasn't no dummy neither. So, X and O's want nothing to him. So it was a battle. And like I said, make a long story short, I said earlier, how they took the lead on us, they did a swing pass to Snell in the backfield. And these young kids now, school's a little bit different now. Robinsonville had a horse with an Indian on it down there. People might not even remember. But the real fans do. Had the Indian horse down there. Snell caught a ball out of the backfield. Me and Eric Jones in the backfield trying to get Ryan Butler. And Snell was out there in the flex by himself. He made one move past Derrick Jackson. And went in the end zone. And they was up. We got the ball back. Chico threw an interception. The guy ran it back to about the 45-some yard line. Blase. So they had the ball. Ryan Butler fumbled. We get the ball. Chico take over from there. And that was the ball game. After that, yep.
That's crazy.
Yep.
And you said Chico had just fumbled.
Yep, Chico had just threw an interception.
Interception, okay.
Let me reverse that.
Okay, yeah, you said earlier.
Let me reverse. Chico threw an interception.
Okay.
Interception.
He said get the ball back.
And Ryan Butler and them fumbled and we got it back.
Okay.
Exactly. That's exactly.
And when you say Chico was like, when he was on the sideline, get the ball back.
Y'all get that ball back. Watch what I do. Hey man, get that ball back for me. That's exactly what he said. Y'all excuse me. He threw the interception. He didn't fumble. He threw the interception. They ran it down to about like almost the 50. And Ryan Butler stands for center. They fumbled the ball. Either Bocce or me, one of the two got it back. Was on defensive lineman. Chico went out there on the next play, 45 yards, touchdown. That was a ball game.
So he ran it with no seconds left.
Probably might have been a little bit of time there.
Oh, yeah, but it won't
enough time for them to drive it down the field and win.
I got you.
Mm-hmm. But I ain't for sure, but nevertheless, that was a great game, man. The most people I ever seen in that stadium.
That's dope. Oh yeah, back with Nate Burns, 95 state championship. Yeah, we just want to talk about the game though a little bit, like the 95. That's what we're here for. We're here for the game. So, I mean, like, what do you remember most about that 95 state championship game, or what you were playing in it?
Yeah, it was kind of unbelievable. I see my mama in the stands. Then I see people from the church in the stands. You know how that go. Hey, you want to see them? You love to see some people see you doing something good. So that was really big to me. I see my whole community up there. And that's crazy how sports bring everybody together. You know what I'm saying? Especially if they know you don't play the whole season and you had a goal to get there and you made it with a whole group of guys from your community and to that goal, and another group of people from their community that made to their goal, and just meet and see who the best team is. But that's pretty much. And besides that, after that, my stats. 10 tackles, 7 solo, 3 assisted. My stats. That was number one thing. And last but not least, it was so cold. I'm like, that's probably the coldest game we ever played. It was like 19 degrees. Yeah, it was like 19 degrees that day. Yeah, it was cold in Chapel Hill. You know, and they was kind of worried like, well, we're gonna be out in this cold weather. You know what I'm saying? So, guys just stood up, man. But my stats in my community, man, because the stats mean you put in the work and you prepare that whole week. And the community means there's people that love you, and they see what you're doing. And big out to Williamston, man. Everybody in the community for showing up. Yeah, I saw y'all out there, and it was cold.
Coming back from the state championship, like,
oh man,
yeah, like what happened after?
Man, we had an escort first. Coach Roger, RIP. Coach Roger won't too much about that rap music, right? And but when we won the state championship, and anybody asked you, they let us rap all the way back home. Be bopping on the top of the bus. Pernell Griffin with the beat. He the bebop king. He switching beats. Pernell Griffin. Ask anybody. He love that Mobb Deep beat. And ask anybody. Coach Roger sit there. Now he won't study nothing now. Coach Harry, you know here now and then he get in the twist. We bebop and rap all the way back to Martin County. But when we got about, can't remember what county it was, we had a police escort, a fire truck escort, a sheriff escort, a police escort, all the way to Williamston High School. I thought we were presidents. Anybody on that bus and tell you, I thought we were presidents. And Coach Rogers let us rap. Herbie Rogers, man, that was crazy, man. Big shout out to Lil Matt too. Yeah, he was part of it too, man, with that secondary, man. I ain't gonna forget you, man. Big shout out to him too, because he was a little younger than the other coaches, so you know he kind of communicated with us. You know what I'm saying? But big shout out to him too, man, because puzzle ain't whole without every piece. So that's what I remember about state championship game, man. One of the greatest years of my life.
So, what was it like the next few weeks, months? You know, when y'all back in school, I know y'all like celebrities.
Yeah. Kind of felt like superstars. Was kind of unreal because it was the first time it happened for us since E.J. Hayes, and really, it did more for the class behind us than it did for ourselves. Because after that, we didn't stop going to state championship, so we kind of like paved the way. They just took it and ran with it, you know what I'm saying? And that's basically what them couple weeks was. The other guys under us who were coming up, the Brian Hudgens and the Jameson Congretons and the Brandon Whitleys, you know what I'm saying? The Wynn boy, what's his name? In the Wynn. Sherelle Wynn and those guys who were coming up, and the Brad Roaches and the ECs and the Evan Cofields and all that came up behind us. That's no weeks. We just left it from there after we won. They were like, you can really do it. And, you know, we done it again and we played for a couple more. So that's why we're just leaving something for them to follow, like a blueprint. They followed it to a T.
But my big question I'm leading up to with that, of course, everybody, y'all always talk about it. Everybody asks this in the hood or whatever, in the streets. 95 or 99?
95 and 99.
Of course, I know you play with 95.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it like this.
What's the difference?
I ain't gonna say too much on it. Is I'm gonna go with 95 because of our defense. I know they had an explosive offense. I know they had the Brown Hoods. I know they had some of the same coaching staff. So it's kind of hard to say, but on that 95 defense, no way.
I got
No
you.
way.
So I got you. So you going with 95, but so you said that y'all set the example for the next group ahead. Just a few words on what you seen coming up with DeBron Hudgens. I mean, as far as how good he was gonna be.
You knew he was an athlete from recreation. He put me in the mind of Bo Jackson. As he was coming up, people didn't really have to lift weights. People didn't really have to. Anything with athletics came natural. His father was the same way. His father was athletic, had athletic physique, the whole nine. But the Brown was just a raw athlete. Wasn't too tall, but hands were just as big as mine. You know what I'm saying? As a 6'8" man, 6'5" man, had big hands. Just a pure athlete, and whatever he put his mind to, he couldn't be stopped. You know, he couldn't be stopped. One of the best running backs and all-around athletes out here. He played baseball, he played basketball. There wasn't nothing he couldn't do. You know, should be in the league right now. Yep, should be in the league right now.
That's fact. Yep. I know y'all did that Who Dat. Like, what was that about? What was the Who Dat about?
Who that thing gonna beat them Tigers? That's something Harold Robinson started. Yeah, I told you he was a fun guy. And another thing, as I got older, back then, I mean, to y'all right now, it might sound corny. To y'all right now. But Pernell Griffin used to get in the middle. I don't know where he got it from. I don't know where they started from. And now that I think about, maybe it was corny, but back then it won't corny. It used to sound good to us. But then used to holler out, "It's gonna be me." We were like, "Me." "It's gonna be Green." "Green." "It's the Tiger Lean." And all used to lay back and say, "Lean." And that shit used to get us fired up like it won't. Like a white boy, black boy, green, whatever color you was. I don't know why it got us fired up.
That's what's up.
And lean back like that, but that was the fun things you remember, man, about a great group of guys, great group of leaders, like I said, especially that junior class and that senior class, them guys were born leaders. I knew they were going to college. Just with their character, the way they carried it. They had good minds on them, man. And I appreciate the time we shared out there, man.
That's what's
Yeah,
up.
great memories.
That's what's up. We wrapping it up. If you want to speak on Williamston, I mean, you know, just talk about your city that you came from. You know what I'm saying? Just, I mean, whatever thoughts you got on your city. I know even if you're speaking from a young guy or an old guy, like, I mean, just the city you come from. Because they don't know where we at right now. They don't know nothing about the city back in the 90s, 80s, whatever the case may be. So, yeah, whatever you want to say about Williamston so the people will know kind of where you from, you know.
Rep your hometown, man.
So, anything else you want to say?
Nah, not too much, man. That's about it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just want to, it's a great year, man, for Barton County, man, because we went on the ride together. We did. Like I said, we went on the ride together, man. One day I'll never forget.
Lead on the block punt. Lamont Manning comes up with a touchdown. 14-7 Tigers the lead. 4th and 9 in the fourth quarter. Doc Ayers comes up with this little play. Ryan Butler to Cedric Razor. And Razor slices through for the touchdown. The first play after a critical Roanoke fumble low in the final minute. Michael Lee, 41 yards on the option, and Lee runs all the way to the 1A championship game. Williamston wins it 21-14. Harold and Robinson and company celebrating after this one.
Make it Eastern final, you got to be proud. I'm really proud of the effort our kids gave. They could have given up and then got the turnover, and we were really trying to set a field goal up, running the option. And that's something we've been working on for the last couple of weeks with Michael, and happened to break it. So.
Happened to break it.
No, I just want to take the opportunity streets and just give them a little insight on a little bit about Mark County and sports around here in Williamston football, especially that year. You know, like I said, we had a tradition, man. Like I said, with girls going to the state, boys going to the state, we had a tradition of winning around here. We don't want to let it go.
Last thoughts on the rivalry, on the Roanoke Williamston rivalry. Anything to add to that?
Well, right now we don't have that same fire to it, but it'll get back there like it always do. But those were really, really, really some good days of sports, good high school sports, old school rivalries. You know, the ones you used to hear your mom and dad talk about, you didn't want to hear it till your day comes and you make your own. So with Street Dot Nations, man.
That's facts, cause look, y'all won 95. They won 95 basketball, 96 basketball. Nut went 94.
Yep.
People on them went back 99.
Yep.
So yeah, they won a baseball.
Yeah, 95 in baseball too.
I'm saying so.
Yeah.
DJ Jackson done won some gold medals in track.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it just was crazy in the 90s.
Yeah, we were just
different breed.
top of the line, man. Kids came out and played sports. But we'll get back there, man. I never get up on my city, and I definitely ain't gonna get up on my county. So, anybody to everybody, man.
Anybody want to shout out in anywhere?
No, I just want to shout out the whole Williamston, Martin County there, to all my young people out there that trying to be their best. Hey, put your work in, and the outcome you already know it. Just put your work in. Yeah, the outcome you already know it. So I just want to speak to my youth out there, man. I want to thank you for giving the opportunity just to speak my piece on it.
Oh yeah, thank you.
And you just keep doing what you're doing in the community, man, because positivity is so beautiful.
In case you need that translated, that's who that think gonna beat them Tigers? Who that? Swain County will try. Tigers in Swain County Saturday at 3:45. We'll have complete coverage of both Bertie and Williamston all weekend long right here on News Center 9.